Can you share your understanding about my teaching? How are you practicing meditation now?
Yes, this is helpful to come from the side of how I practice now. In every moment, be it sit in meditation with closed eyes or sit in meditation with opened eyes or any daily activities, now it's not different, it's the same practice of understanding that behind that what arises, there is nothing. That what arises mainly is misunderstanding as something, and then in every moment there can be different mindfulness of different object, but but the experience is the same. The experience is that sometimes that experience shows that so difficult. The experience is the same, that there is nothing and it is impermanent and changing, and sometimes it is just impermanent and changing, but sometimes it is nothing, with next moment understanding that this is false, this is fake. And it is as if the truth is hiding behind what comes first. And sometimes everything happens without knowing what happens, just happening only. And then the mind wants to grasp the idea about something, wants to give a name, to know. And then the understanding of detachment comes, or of attachment and the detachment. So in daily life, knowing like this really brings the middle way, brings the doing only in practice, because there is the understanding of not real, something that is being done, something that is happening is not real. It's just, again, one moment after another. It's like a code that comes. We don't need to unpack this code. We don't need to see inside the code. We need just this code to let be as it is, without going into details. This code brings a lot of information about something, someone, what color, what place, what distance. But we don't have to be interested in this. We can just not know about what is inside. And sometimes there are like layers. There is one layer more visible of the change, and behind, sometimes the mindfulness can go see something behind which is less visible, but also more, not only one happening and the other and the next, but in between them, sometimes I notice that there is also some other happening, but I'm not very clear about that one. So as if there are two layers. And then I just let know that those are also just happenings, even though I'm less aware about them.
The more we are paying attention on selfless impermanent nature, the more we are less and less interested in all kinds of created truth. What place, what time, what is happening, who are you, all these are just created truth. Because of not knowing the same truth of selfless impermanent nature, we are interested in all kinds of created truth. Like the movies, all are creation, not real. But we like creation. We want to create like the movie actor and actress. That's why we are interested in creation. We attach on created life of movie character. We attach on creating like the movie character. That's why we ourselves are just creating one action after another. We are using one created understanding one after another. The whole world is also busy with creating one action after another by using physical, verbal, and mental action. The truth of selfless impermanent nature is useful to detach from all the created action and happening. In this way, the mind is free from ignorance and attachment. The mind should be mindful only on practicing mindfulness and detachment. mindfulness and detachment are mostly concerned with ever-changing, selfless, impermanent nature.
But even ever-changing, selfless, impermanent nature is not very correct. More correct, maybe even just cause and effect. Because what appears has no nature. Is only if we look one moment after another, it becomes nature. But by itself, the moment of mindfulness is just the effect that cannot but arise, that must come, that comes by force. Very forcefully, strongly it appears. And then at this time, I have understanding that I need to practice just step by step, only moment by moment. Only at this moment to accept that this one goes away. Maybe never again. Maybe last one, but of course not last one. But I mean, only one moment, and it arises, it comes because of the force of karma. But if we accept this arising and passing away, this is helpful for it not to arise again, isn't it? Just letting it go forever. Am I now too metaphoric?
If there is worry or fear, doubt, or greed, we should try to know the same truth of all these objects of mindfulness, which is cause and effect of selfless, impermanent nature. So the more we are knowing like this, the less worry, fear, greed, anger in our mind will be. Finally, there will be no worry, no fear, no doubt, no greed, no ignorance will be.
This is the purification?
Yes, knowing the truth is the real purification of the mind. So because of the power of the truth. The truth is really powerful. The truth is permanent. That's why whatever concerned with the truth, it will disappear for sure. Because greed, anger, delusion, ignorance, all these are not permanent, not real. Because of not knowing with the truth like this, there are greed, anger, and delusion in the mind endlessly. I'm also teaching about the truth. That's why the truth is powerful. The truth is not easy to understand and explain like this. But I'm trying to speak about the truth. That's why even if the audience can understand with conscious mind, their unconscious mind can understand. In this way, the truth from unconscious mind can transfer to conscious mind. My teaching is about the unconscious mind. Most of the people are not knowing about unconscious mind. That's why they are difficult to understand. My teaching is not for conscious mind. Conscious mind is just a part of the mind. The real mind is concerned with unconscious mind.
This one is a representative. But when I used to ask you questions before about the practice, once I was advancing, I could discover some other question about the practice of mindfulness, when mindfulness would be going deeper and deeper. And then you would give me an answer and I would understand just intellectually, but there was curiosity to discover and understand what you answer. So I would go and sit and practice just, I don't know how, but to see what you say, to experience what you say. And then I could understand it by myself. Like still it is like a guidance, even for the conscious mind. It is a guidance for the practice that slightly directs to experiment and to experience like that. There are also different levels, as some other students notice about your teaching, that we can start by bulk practice in bulk, in gross, just seeing the nature of change. Usually practitioners see the nature of change of created objects, see just their impermanence. But we need to learn to see the mind, so that we can see impermanence closer. And then, because there is the grasping for understanding, we need to see the understanding as impermanent and not mine, no self. And then when we see the understanding, which is so important, but we see it as not mine and impermanent, then it gives the clue for everything. And to see that everything actually is impermanent and just changing. And then the nature opens up. We need to change the focus of attention from objects to the nature of those objects, because they all have the same nature. So objects are not important. They're just for mindfulness to appear.
In order to understand the truth, we need to detach from creation. Most of the people or living beings are attaching on creation. created by someone. So we must stop creation of ourselves and we must detach from the creation of the other.